my god, but I can't have it like that. There you go. I'll set this down up here. So I've got two out here because this, my friends, is going to be kind of like a little vlog, I guess you could say. A little story time. And it'll be good to share. So let's see if I can just share this real quick. Alright. Okay. So, how are you guys doing today? Good? Good? Anybody? Hi, Chris. How are ya? So I want to have a little conversation. Yay, story time, right? Okay, so I want to have a little conversation about all this, you know, there's a lot of hype going on right now. I don't know if you guys have heard, I've heard about some Snapchat accounts being stolen and held for ransom. Okay, that's crazy. I've heard about the Snapchat filters being racist and people are boycotting Snapchat because the filters are too white. And I'm seeing some people getting onto Twitter saying, you know, that they're mad that people are talking about them behind their backs. And I'm seeing, you know, Snap stories where people are saying something to somebody, but you know, they don't say who, and they go, this is about nobody in particular, but if you think it's about you, maybe it is, right? And yeah, right? You've never heard about that? That's so insane. Who does that? Like, oh, it's just weird. So I wanted to just tell you guys about a little story, something that happened to me, and how I handled it, and what I think about it. Yeah, isn't it insane? Okay, this whole, like, I'm gonna boycott Snapchat because it's too white, like, I feel like everybody is getting so politically correct and PC, and, you know, oh, hi, Natalie, hi, hey, girl. Everybody is so PC and worried about what other people are gonna say, what other people are thinking, and, people have no problem, though, shooting off and saying how offended they are all the time, right? Well, there's something that I firmly believe in life, and it's say what you mean and mean what you say. And I feel like people have way too difficult of a time with this. Yeah, right? Too white. Okay. Because could you imagine what happens if they, like, put blackface on? Oh my god, then we're too black. Which, I'm not racist at all. I'm all for embracing all cultures, all colors. We all bleed red, right? But if we were to launch WET, White Entertainment Television, hi Daniel, how many people would shit a brick, right? And even in my personal life, which I really thought twice about whether I should do this on my personal profile or on my Ask Ashley K Entrepreneur profile, because people are saying things in my family, you know, oh, da, 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 da. But guess what? Nobody picked up the phone and talked to me. I'm here. You got a question or anything? I'm here. You can answer. So, I want to tell you guys about a little story. When I first started Snapchat was kind of right about the time when I was ready to launch my company, right? Which I just became a C Corp March 29th. I am a baby company, and I say it all day long. I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I just feel like I'm meant to do this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to go for it anyway and watch me grow, right? Watch me fail, watch me grow, help me along the way. But I feel like I'm very transparent in my agenda. So, I want to tell you guys a little story. When I first started Snapchat, I came across let's say like 5 people who I really liked, and I followed their content regularly. And I engaged with them, and I would respond, and they would respond, and it was really nice, which is part of the reason why I fell in love with Snapchat. Long story short, obviously I started to grow, feel more confident. Thanks, Rebecca. And so I started to branch off, I guess you could say, in my own way. And just, you know, keep going, right? Well, one of these big-time social influencers I started noticing that they were watching my Snap stories, right? And I was like, oh, cool. Well, one night I went to an event and I got really fired up because it was a great event. It was here in Minneapolis at the Coco Lounge, and it was with Chad Halverson from When I Work, and it was just a great eye-opening experience, right? Well, I came out of this event snapping, and I had noticed that that influencer was watching my snaps. And if anything, I felt proud about it, right? I was like, yes, I'm getting some traction with some cool people. So I sent this person a snap, and I was like, hey, what up, dude? How come you're not ever responding to mine? And they responded with something along the lines of like, I'm just super busy, sorry. And I was like, it's okay, don't worry about it. You know, I really like that you're watching my snaps. And, well, I mean, okay, what exactly did I say? I said, it's all right. I understand you're busy. I feel for you. In fact, my exact words were, I have a soft spot for you. And I feel this, like, sweet kinship because I just feel like we're similar, right? And so, you know, hey, I'm here for you if you ever need a friend, right? Mind you, okay, I should probably take this back a tiny bit. Okay, so because he hadn't been responding at all, I said, in a text written on Snap, what is this, because I'm your competition, right? Totally joking. Well, no response whatsoever. Which, okay, like, hey, you know, a lot of times we put things out there and then we don't get a response. No big deal. But the next day, I see this person on a live stream talking about fans and friends and the fine line between them. I sent a guy asking for his website, more about his stuff, and he unfriended me. See? What the fuck? Exactly, right, Natalie? So, the next day, I see this person on a live stream talking about fans and friends and the fine line difference and how some people seem to be confusing the difference between what a real friendship is through social media and what just a fan is. And I kind of felt like they were talking about me. And they were kind of talking about it like this person was really deeply committed, and they were like, whoa, man, maybe you need to back, like, you're not, like, I don't know you, what do I need to talk to you for? So I was like, oh, okay, hey, just wanted to let you know that maybe I should have video snapped those instead of written them, because oftentimes the written word can be confusing and misinterpreted, right? So I wrote, you know, oh, hey, just sounded like it was about me. Wanted to say that that's not where I was coming from at all. You know, like, hey, totally not a crazy fan here. Like, I was just shooting some shit. Just out of fun. And the person didn't respond, right? Which, all right, to each their own. No big deal. No big deal. Well, then I saw something about the same thing again. So I wrote him a message on a different one. It was like, hey, man, didn't respond. I just wanted to let you know. Yeah, right. Context gets lost in translation so often with text. Okay. Long story short, this person never wrote back, which, okay, like, hey, to each their own. If you think I'm like a crazy stalker, my bad. I didn't mean to come off that way at all. There was definitely some confusion because I just wondered if you're watching my stuff and I used to watch your stuff all the time and engage with you, why are you engaging back with me, right? Well, this person, I think, thought that I was like whining and crying about it. I was like, no, that's not what I was doing at all. Like, I was just saying, hey, just wondering why. So then, I feel like I lost my train of thought all of a sudden. So then, his buddy starts saying the same thing, right? And I'm like, whatever. I move on and keep going about my business, doing the same thing, doing, you know, me. And then I hear, how are you going to go out and say you're some big fan and that you're my friend when you don't even watch my story, right? And if this person was still talking about me, I'm sorry that I wasn't watching your stuff, but I've been busy. I'm too busy practically to watch any of my favorite Snap people anymore. I regularly communicate with the people that I engage with, but it's really sad. I don't really get to consume as much Snapchat as I used to. However, does that make me any less valid? Like, can I only talk to you if I'm watching your stuff? Even though I know you're watching mine? Which I don't even care who watches whose. Like, I'm just saying. So, fast forward, probably 30 days out from the situation, I see this person again talking about people in like behind the scenes. And it's like, if you're talking to me, I'm right here, man. You can tell me my feelings are going to get hurt. Which then makes me think about all these people that are getting so offended, right? Who decides what offends who? And why has everybody got to tiptoe around because, I'm scared I might hurt your feelings? Guess what? I've got pretty thick skin here, and I think all of you need to thicken up a little bit too. Because one of my other favorite people that I follow, we had this conversation just 2 nights ago. Constructive criticism is the key to self-awareness. So if you can't dish out constructive criticism directly to a person, I think that you're probably going to have a hard time receiving that constructive criticism coming back. And I really think that the only way to learn and grow is to understand that maybe the way that you're communicating out to people is not always necessarily the way that they are perceiving you in. Okay? And we don't all have to get along. Okay? There's like 4 billion people on this planet, guys. Guess what? Probably all not going to get along. But just because maybe I don't care for you doesn't mean I need to go around and tell my friends that they shouldn't care for you either. Because guess what? We've all got one of these. And we can all make that up for ourselves. So, lately, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, I don't like to see that people are talking behind my back. It hurts my feelings. Or I saw on another person's feed, that they found a hate group that someone made about them. And it hurt their feelings, right? Which nobody likes it when people are bashing them. I mean, sure, it doesn't feel good. But there's no reason to then dislike that person because they dislike something and told somebody else. Like, get over yourself, guys. We're all allowed to be different. We're all allowed to embrace our own identities. Which is why I feel like people are too quick to pronounce they're offended. In my opinion, at least. Amanda, if you hate me, I must be doing something right? Like I say to my kids, if you think I'm mean, that means I'm doing a good job parenting. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to help you grow. And I've always spoke my mind. And I've said a lot of things in the past that kind of just spewed right out of my mouth. And I basically stuck my foot in my mouth before I thought. But I was very, very easy to admit that and say, whoa, maybe I should have thought a little bit more. I'm really sorry if I hurt your feelings. It wasn't my intention at all. But hey, I just wanted you to know. And so here's where I'm at right now. I addressed that situation with that person and I wrote to them numerous times and I had no response. And that makes me feel like that's a sign of weakness on their part. You don't got the balls to respond to me? And then you're going to keep saying it? Man up. You tell me that, yeah, it was about you. And yeah, you came off as a weirdo. And yeah, I didn't think it was very cool. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it was definitely a bad thing. Cool. Like, we don't have to be social friends. But the way that we are moving forward through this social media and the fact that the entire globe is all interconnected at one time. For the very first time ever, we are always connected electronically at all times, okay? Always. For you to not be able to man up and say it and then discredit what I'm doing, even if it wasn't me. If it wasn't me, like, I don't care, but other people have discredited me. How are you going to discredit me when you don't even talk to me or know what I'm doing? You can't discredit someone's quality of work if you have no idea what they're doing. That's it, right there. In order to make any sort of judgment on anything, you need to be open to receiving all the information first. So like I saw another thing the other day that said, if I tell somebody to have an open mind, I'm immediately telling them that I believe that their mind is closed, which means that me as a person, I'm offended already because you think I have a closed mind. It seems like really rhetorical to me. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that whole sentence right there, it doesn't even make sense. Because if I ask you to have an open mind about something, I'm just asking to be heard out. And the thing that I love the most about social media, about being in this world, is that you have the ability to actually meet and surround yourself with people who you never would have had the opportunity to even know, let alone speak to directly years ago. Okay, like 20 years ago, right? So why then, now that we're in social media, right, and now we're talking to people all the time, how does that relationship provide any less value than the relationship that you met with a potential business person at a networking event? It doesn't to me. I mean, a lot of people who I communicate with now regularly on digital platforms, I can absolutely consider a real friend. And I absolutely consider it a real conversation. Just because it's in a virtual place, a cloud-based platform, it doesn't make it any less real, guys. The line between real life and Snapchat land or the internet, it's all the same now, guys. It really is. There's no difference. That's part of why I'm selling social media presences to businesses, right? Because look, if you're a small business and you're selling wood carving signs, if you're not online, you pretty much don't exist. Whether it's a brick and mortar shop, whether it's a digital media shop, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not online, you pretty much don't exist. And I'm launching snapatwork.com, right? So it's a Snapchat training course. Am I exploiting Snapchat and coming off as an expert? No, not at all. Am I saying that social media and Snapchat is like the best place on earth and you have to be on it? No, not at all. What I'm saying, and the people who I am targeting especially, is that let me show you how this platform works and the ability of a reach that you have to create organic relationships with many, many people. And there's a lot of value in that, especially when we're talking about interchanging that into people in the real world. Yeah, right? And if you are not on the same online as you are offline, then trust God. Exactly. Okay? I am so transparent. Okay? What you see is what you get. You're not going to see me preaching off left and right, talking, spewing out content all day long online, and then going into the bar and talking shit about people all day long. It'll never happen. In fact, before I shared this story, I sent that person a message to try to open a line of communication. There needed to be no response, no resolve, no anything, right? But I sent that person a message out of respect to tell them I was going to share the story and my perception of it. Because as I told you, I have reached out to that person a couple of times and responded and was not responded back to at all. Which, okay, cool, you don't have to respond back. But that doesn't mean that it's not okay for me to share the story. However, if I was to get on here and share that story and tell you about this situation and come across with a pessimistic outlook, I mean, I don't even know if that's the right word, but, you know, derogatory outlook, that's the same as talking about somebody behind their back in middle school, people. Grow up. Mic drop, right? So, I mean, I wish more people would be upfront, be direct, address the elephant in the room right away, and then move on. We're all adults here, so let's act like it. I don't have to like you, you don't have to like me, but guess what? Doesn't mean we can't be in the same room and breathe the same air. Because whether or not we're in the same room, we're all still breathing the same air. So, I just wish people would not be so offended on everything. Like, yeah, exactly, because people have no lady balls. Okay, I've heard it so many times in my life. I can't believe that you actually said that out loud. And I'm like, why? Why not? Why wouldn't I? Although I do have like no filter, and I do have big balls, I guess you could say. But I wish more people would say what they mean and mean what they say and stop beating around the bush. If you have a problem with somebody, take it up with them. You might learn something upon the resolution. You might learn that you weren't actually receiving their side of the information right. And be open to giving them a chance to prove you wrong. I think everybody should always have an open mind. And if somebody was to come to me and say, hey, can you just have an open mind about this? I would say, absolutely. But also, if I have an open mind about it and I hear them out and I respectfully disagree and I stand up for that disagreement and in fact I back it up with facts, there's no reason you can call me a bitch for it. Or if that makes me a bitch, then hey, I'll wear a bitch button proudly. That's cool, man. Exactly, Natalie. Everybody gets offended. They're so offended. It's okay that you offended me. It's alright, man. It happens. You're only doing that person a favor by directly telling them, hey, you know what you said was offensive, instead of turning around and going behind their back and trying to tell the whole world that you were offended and hope that, they would take it out. Now, I would never say this. I would never call somebody out on a social platform by name. I've seen that happen a couple times, and I feel like, ouch, man, that's bad. But I would also never go on social media and call somebody out for anything without at least first acknowledging them first. I hope you guys learned something from this, or at least maybe you got a better perception of who I am, why I'm on here saying anything that I want, anytime that I want, regardless of whose grandma sees it or whose mom's friend sees it. It's all right. Exactly. It should start on an open dialogue. Gary Vee said something once that I heard not too long ago. And surprisingly, I'm hearing it now in my life. And that's when he started putting himself out there, straight up, saying it like it was. And it wasn't something that people were used to hearing from him. People started gathering up behind his back, saying like, what's wrong with him? Is he okay, man? Is he like boozing? Is he like... I don't know, man. They're talking to each other. But guess what? None of them talked to him. So, I'm here. If anybody ever has a question, I'm here. And I'll answer it for you at all times. But if you're going to talk behind my back, you better watch out, because the next time I see you at a family gathering, I'm going to address it with you right away. Love you guys. See you later. How you do a Facebook Live. Be real and true. I plan on doing nothing but being absolutely transparent and open in everything that I do and in every goal that I have along the way. I just hope that I can share that with other people who are maybe too afraid to stand up for themselves. Alright, so I've got my YouTube on. So this is going to be a good one. I'm going to keep this one. And I've got my Facebook. And I want to have a little convo. Here's some smack talk for you. Say what you mean and mean what you say before you go telling the world. I'm so tired of all the talk I hear. Oh my god, why is this still live? Did it start again? Didn't I finish this? Hi, Bree.